Okay, hey guys, this is Matt here, and welcome to my 1 year update video for learning Japanese. And basically, in this video, I'm just going to talk about where I am now and what I'm going to do next, just to polish off my Japanese, I guess. So at the moment, I've got a little bit of a list going. At the moment, I will give you my stats for Anki, and let you know how those are doing. If any of you guys are watching this and you don't know what method I'm using the AJATT method, which is a form of immersion, and essentially it's just like basically as much of the language as you can get per day, like constantly listening, constantly reading, it's doing as much as you can in the language. Keeping away from English as much as possible, basically. So, my statistics for Anki. Anki is a flashcard program, in case you don't know, that I've used to learn Kanji and to learn sentences. My goal is 10,000 sentences, and once you get to 10,000, you should have a really good grasp on grammar, vocabulary, and vocabulary, and sentence structure. It's the same thing, isn't it? Yeah, basically that. At the moment, I'm at 7,100 sentences, and I've learned 2,750 kanji. So, that's quite a lot. I'm only 3,000 sentences away, which is good. I've had lots of free time recently, so I've managed to do lots of more flashcards. In general, going away from Anki, in general, my level, I guess, it's very difficult to base. It's very difficult to judge what level I'm at, because I can understand a lot, but I can't necessarily output correctly yet. So, for example, I can read the news, I can read books, I can read manga quite easily. Books are a little bit harder, actually. I've only just started getting into them, but I can read them pretty well. Basically, anything you give me, I can read to 90% or higher, usually 95%, depending on what it is. And my listening skills, again, are very high. 95% or higher, I can understand. So it's a case of I can understand a lot, yet the language hasn't quite sunk into my brain yet. So it's a lot of it has. I can speak a little bit, and I do have conversations with a friend of mine once a week for an hour, and we do speak in both English and Japanese because she's learning English, and she corrects me, she helps me out. If I make a mistake, she'll tell me, no, that's wrong, you do it like this, and she'll write out the sentence. And I do make mistakes every now and then. She does correct me, and then I learn from those mistakes, and that's something very small that I do. And but as I say, obviously I'm not at the stage where I've had enough exposure. I have had a lot of exposure, but I still haven't had enough exposure to be completely fluent, if that makes sense, to be able to actually output correct sentences. So at this point in time, it's just keep reading, keep listening, keep doing what I've been doing for the next 6 months. Pardon me. And hopefully after 6 months, or a bit longer, but it might be a bit longer. I think anywhere between 6 months and a year, I'll be happy with. And I should be at a decent level, I think. So at the moment, it's focusing on reading more. I want to read more literature because I can get more vocab from that I might not have, I haven't been exposed to as much. And I want to continue reading and read more about and stuff, my subject areas in university, to do with software engineering. So that's where going with this. Listening is just going to keep listening to films, TV shows, whatever I can get my hands on. Recently it's been YouTube videos, just watching stupid people on YouTube. Yeah, so my level at the moment is quite high, but it's not there yet. I need to still finish it, polish it off. And I think that's just a case of time. More than anything, it's just a case of time. So, yeah. At the moment, I'd say I'm a pretty high level, and I'm really happy with the progress I've made. And, yeah, it's been one hell of a crazy ride, I have to say. Obviously, still got a way to go, but I never thought I would have learned this much of the language in a year. When people say all the time, Japanese, that'd take like 10 years to learn, yeah, definitely. If you haven't done it, or you've just started doing it, don't worry about it. It does work. Definitely do it. Immersion, I have to say, I think is the only real way forward for learning languages. After doing this, but yeah, and after that, what was I going to talk about? Oh yeah, I was going to quickly talk about how it affected my year at university. I'm at my first year at university studying software engineering, and the first year, I'll admit, has been a little bit easy, but for the most part, it hasn't affected my course, or Japanese hasn't affected my course, and the course hasn't really affected Japanese too much. So it's been quite good. I've got 3 results back so far from 5 units out of 5 units. Those 3 results have all been the highest grade you can get. So, that just proves that there is time to do this method. It's just fitting. All the method is really is fitting in the language wherever you can. So, yeah, I don't. It hasn't affected my university grades, and I don't think it will next year either. Although next year is going to be a little bit harder, but we'll see how that goes. It should be fine. And yeah, as I say, it hasn't affected my university course, so you can fit it in. It is possible. And yeah, I'm also. I was going to talk about my daily routine. That was it. Yeah, my daily routine. So, I'll talk about my daily routine at university as opposed to now, because at the moment I'm on holiday for 4 months. I've got university's finished. Doesn't start again till midway September. So I've got lots of free time, and obviously I'm just waking up, diving straight into the language until I need to go to bed again, and I go to bed and I wake up, and it's pure immersion. It's great. But at university, it would have been something sort of like this. So wake up, have headphones in during sleep. So I wake up, I'm hearing the language whilst I'm in bed. Whilst I'm in bed, usually flip through my flashcards for Kanji. Basically go through all my Kanji flashcards whilst I'm lying in bed. I'd probably do that in 10 to 20 minutes, depending on depending on the day. Probably not the best time to do it because you're obviously just woken up and you're probably a bit sleepy, but it's just something I got into the habit of doing. After that, get out of bed, go into the shower, listen to NHK News podcasts whilst I'm in the shower. Once I get out of there, eat breakfast whilst watching anime. Depends, it could be anything, but usually something with subtitles. Not English subtitles, Japanese subtitles, of course. Usually something with Japanese subtitles so I can read and listen at the same time. And by that time, it'll probably be like 8 o'clock, so I'll catch the bus to get into university by 9. During the bus travel, you usually do a lot of sentence flashcards, get through the majority of the day's sentence flashcards on the bus, and then go to classes. I usually have 2 to 3 hours a day of classes. Some days a bit more, sometimes a bit less. Fridays I actually had off as well, which is quite nice. But during the classes, I would always have one headphone in, so I'd be listening to the teacher be mainly focused on the teacher and the class, but I'd still have the audio going. And during breaks, I would either finish off flashcards or do reading. I actually found a secret spot where I go sit by myself and read, just to get rid of all the distractions of university students walking about and showering and stuff. And then after classes finish, I mean, it could be any time of the day really. It could be anywhere from 12 till 5. I think we used to have a lecture that finished at 6, which is really annoying. But I could get home at any time really. And as soon as I get home, either crack on with revision, coursework, or anything in Japanese, playing games, watching anime, watching films, or reading manga. And with my course, any reading in the course I would prefer to do in Japanese, and sometimes I would do in Japanese, but for the most part I would do it in English. And not reading primarily Japanese, but any revision and stuff, any notes I made and stuff like that, I would tend to do it in English, just because it is quicker, and it was easier for me to do at the time. I still want to get a good grade in this course. I don't want to slip on that. I know Kat said he made some half-breed system for making notes with kanji. I don't know how he went about that, but I didn't do it. I haven't done anything crazy like that. Which it might have helped, but I think actually keeping up with writing notes during lectures is probably a better choice. I don't know. You could argue either way there, but anyway, the majority of stuff to do in my course was in English. I did do reading in Japanese from time to time, but the majority of it was in English. I would usually make usually make flashcards, for my course on Anki as well, which helped dramatically as well for my grades, I have to say. It keeps everything refreshed, keeps everything you learned in your head. You don't forget anything, so that was very useful. What else? Oh, the reason why I didn't do much. The reason why I didn't do all my reading in Japanese for the course was because you need to know keywords in English, obviously, for the exams and stuff. So obviously, if an exam asks you for a specific keyword, you knew it in Japanese, but you didn't know it in English, then obviously you can have a bit of a problem there. So I would tend to do it in both, but when it came to the exam period of time, the majority of it would be in English. So getting to the end of the day, obviously I could be doing any revision coursework or anything in Japanese up until dinner time, and I go to the cafeteria with roommates, and eat dinner. Again, one headphone in, still listening, but obviously being polite and I guess talking to my flatmates about their day. Then after that, again up until anywhere from 10 to 11 o'clock until I go to bed, doing stuff in Japanese, usually watching anime, I have to say. Then going to bed with my headphones in. Sometimes read before I go to bed. Read before I go to sleep. And that would be it. That's basically the general day. Isn't much to it, to be honest. But that's pretty much it. That's pretty much all I wanted to say in this video. And overall, I'm really happy with where I've come. As I say, it's very difficult to actually judge what level I am, because although my understanding is very high, I can read a lot, I can listen a lot. I can understand a lot of what I listen to, and I can understand a lot of what I read. I can't necessarily output a lot yet, but that will still take time. So, I'm really happy with where I've come, with how far I've come, and I've never tried learning a language before, except at school, where you're forced to. But it has been a surprisingly easy journey. It hasn't been very hard. The hardest part, I have to say, is probably at the beginning when you're first starting out and you're making these habits, and you're making the habit to do flashcards for kanji, you're making the habit to learn kanji, you're making the habit of creating flashcards for sentences, those were the most difficult bits, was first starting doing things, because you don't really know what you're doing and you're worried about everything and you're panicking about how you're going to do it and all this. But in the end, it doesn't matter, as long as you just keep doing it, and as long as you stick to those habits, and as long as you stay in the language. Really, you don't really need, I don't think you really need sentences, and you don't really have to learn kanji, but it just makes it a little bit faster. So, but as long as you stay in the language, and as long as you stick, as long as you stick with it, you'll get there eventually. So yeah, that's what I wanted to say. I hope you guys enjoyed or found this video useful. If you have any more questions about it at all, then please comment in the description below, and I'll be happy to answer your questions. Also, there'll be some useful links in the description below to some useful people that have very good resources that explain this stuff way better than me and go into it in way more depth than me. The most important one, I think, the most important two, I think, is Anti-Moon and AJATT. They'll be at the top. Those two are very powerful resources that have very good information about language learning. So give those a look, and thank you. Thank you. Kind of tongue twister there. Thank you very much for watching this video, and I'll see you guys probably in the next 6 months, where I let you know again how fluent I've come. But yeah, okay, I'll see you guys later. Cheers.